So when you look at this season, you've got to gain a lot of satisfaction from knowing that Penn State has reestablished itself. Now, this really can't be denied because it's now back-to-back seasons and winning a Big Ten championship, going to the Rose Bowl, following that up with an 11-2 campaign that's going to finish somewhere in the top 10 in the nation and winning another major bowl game. That Penn State's reestablished itself amongst the elite. At the same time, you mentioned the Michigan State and Ohio State games that were oh so close. So it was funny because for me, and I think this is fairly accurate, after the Ohio State and Michigan State games, even though Penn State was ranked in the top 10, it was like they were kind of off the radar because of the position they were in. They couldn't play themselves into the playoff. They even had teams behind them that still had that opportunity. So they were kind of a forgotten team because they didn't play anyone that good the last 3 weeks of the season, plus the situation they were in. And it was nice to see them back on the national stage and making a final statement for the 2017 season that, yeah, we're still one of the best teams in the country.
It's a byproduct of the system we have, right? So there are certain criteria you have to meet in order to make the college football playoff. And the minute Penn State lost that second game, they kind of played themselves out of that out of the running, for lack of a better term, right? Had they not lost to Michigan State, we could be talking about a potential Penn State and Alabama situation where we could actually look at strength of schedule or things like that. But in my mind, the selection committee is going to give you 37 different reasons why they do what they do. But I think record is first and foremost, and it'll continue to be first and foremost. And then anything else is kind of used as a justification for saying, well, you didn't have the record. We're going to make up these other excuses as to why you didn't qualify. So yeah, you are right that once they lost that second game, it was kind of, the end of the line for them. But I do want to also go to your other point, which is, yeah, sure, they didn't make the playoff this time, but 2016 wasn't an anomaly. Penn State has now gone back-to-back 11-win seasons. What they couldn't do last season, they did this season, which was beat their opponent in a major bowl game. 2018 will bring its own challenges, but they have a great recruiting class. They've been stockpiling talent for a few years now. And as crazy as it sounds, the roster isn't balanced, and they're competing. Linebacker is razor thin, and somehow they're still able to field an amazing defense. So at the time that Penn State lost to Ohio State, I screamed in pain because I knew what was to follow. But once I was able to separate the emotion of that loss, especially followed by losing to Michigan State the week after, with what the program has actually accomplished, it's easy to see that, sure, they didn't make the playoff this time, but it's only going to be a matter of time before they get the breaks necessary to actually make it in.
Yeah, that Ohio State game had to be awfully painful, considering it's one thing to lose to a team that you think, okay, they're better than us. Well, there was no distinction there. Those teams are extremely close from a talent perspective. It's number two to be painful when you think, okay, we blew the game. We threw a bunch of interceptions. We fumbled the ball. We did something like that. And they really didn't even do that. It was more of a logistical, like Ohio State had that much of a window to get through to get back into that game and make the plays and win it. And they got through that little window and everything just had to break right. And obviously the Buckeyes made the plays, but just every condition had to come through for Ohio State in the closing minutes or 8 to 10 minutes of that game, and it certainly did.
The fact that the best offensive lineman and one of the best defensive linemen both went down within a few plays of each other also plays a part. And had I don't want to speculate because how many things could have happened, but Had either just one of those two not gone down, maybe things turn out differently. Had Buckles not gone down, maybe the defense is able to stop JT Barrett, or does Bates not go down, maybe the offense can move the ball a little bit. But it is what it is. They came back, they're healthy, and they dominated Washington.